Here we are.
Hey, hi everyone.
Hello, hello. This is Elena and Rebecca.
Hello. And we are determined to talk today. We have technical
It doesn't matter.
difficulties.
It doesn't matter if Facebook doesn't want us to talk. We will.
We will talk. We are very sure of that. But here's the
So,
question. What are we going to use our voices for?
so this is this project that's called Jetsetters Unite against the global insanity, and I love it because we started talking about this like maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and
Even, yeah, a little longer maybe.
yeah, and suddenly it comes completely relevant.
Isn't that funny when something you think will just be a little thing turns out to be one of the things that can truly contribute to creating ease? And I don't know about you, but when the world is declared a global pandemic, I want to make sure that that's not my reality.
Absolutely. And it's so funny because you see what is happening in so many countries. Like they are running out of food, they are running out of paper, they are spending all their spare cash doing whatever. And it's like, wow, I am not there. I am totally not. I mean, I have food in my house, I have toilet paper, of course, but I don't think I will need enough for an army for 2 years.
Exactly. And yes, I mean I've had some friends and some people I know be personally affected in terms of, one of my friends hasn't been able to get baby formula for her baby who's 8 weeks old. And another girl can't go on a trip because she has a 1 month, 1 year old. And, it's one of those things that it is about creating choices that work for now and the future. And I think what some people are starting to find is that they're no longer able to perceive a future. And one of the things that I would love to invite more people to be able to create is, even when countries are on the brink of shutdown, what if your world stayed open? Doesn't matter whether you had to travel physically there or not, but what if you were willing to have a world that stayed open, not only to different locations, but to possibilities and to different
I,
perspectives, and
I
to
thought,
still go for it?
sorry, I totally love that question. No, that was it.
Okay. Um, I also want to share our Zoom on my Facebook too. And so I would love to say, like, this doesn't have to be the end of your current future. You don't have to cancel everything. You don't have to change everything. And you might have to change everything. So, I mean, there's so many different things that you can look at of like, all right, so what can I be creating so that my world and my business stays open?
I love that question. And also, what if this is only temporary and the world is not going to end? What if you expanded your temporal horizon
Mhm.
and it's like, is this going to be relevant in 10 years, in 20 years? I remember here Mexico was the epicenter for the H1N1 pandemic, like 5 or 6 years ago. And it was the same thing. Like everybody bought everything, and 15 days later, everybody was on the beach because the jobs, the workplaces were closed, and people didn't want to stay home because there was no pandemic. So everybody was at the beach. So what if this too is going to pass? And what if you started perceiving the future in a longer, how do you say that? Like in a longer phase,
Yes, a more long-term perspective.
long term. Thank you. My English is not working very well to
I
this
can
this night.
translate. Yeah.
And another thing, being jet setters as we are, because maybe you don't know it, but Miss Rebecca and I travel about 12 years of the year, 12 months of the year.
I think 12 years out of every 1 year is correct.
Yeah, basically.
Enough
For
travel for 12 lifetimes.
yeah, it's like we get in touch with so many cultures, with so many different perspectives that you
Yeah.
start to open up to all these kinds of reality, and then you figure out that none of them are real. They are just cultural points of view.
Exactly. Accessories to your being.
Accessories.
You know, like Elena has Mexican accessories. I have New Zealand accessories.
Exactly.
But they're
And
not who she is.
definitely. But when you start looking at your being as a global, as a jet setter, does it really matter that the borders will be closed in 1 month or 15 days? Will you really die? Will
You
your
might be
business
uncomfortable and itchy.
exactly? And I think all the horrible things that have happened in my life have ended in having more awareness and
Mm.
a greater future, because I get something that is very little, has very little value for a lot of people, but for me is very important, that is consciousness. So what if these two, this change too, gave you this awareness you have been asking for, give you this future that is inevitable, unless you want to kill the planet and kill everyone on it.
And that's your happy news for the day. How is that for positive news? But I mean, this is one of the things, is like, it's a bit of a choice moment. You know, it's one of those areas where you are the one that actually gets to choose. Are you going to go down the path of insanity, where the news becomes the way to toss you around day in and day out, where limitations put on you geographically or lifestyle wise that are temporary become ruiners of your life? Or are you going to choose to create your own reality? One of the things that Access Consciousness says is, if you don't create your reality, this reality will. And I think the conversation that we'd love to open up to you here is to start to look at what it means to create your own reality, how to identify that what you've been choosing, if it's working for you or not, and how to expand and have a perspective and a global way of being in the world, whether you travel or not. This is the thing. It's not about how many days you spend on the road or in the air or in other cities to the one that you live. It's actually more about how wide and far are you willing to traverse in terms of your awareness.
And it's very interesting when you position it like that, because the usually we think that one person cannot change the world, and if you see the great changes in the world have been done by one person and have been started by one person. So what if that person is you, and you only have to start choosing your reality? And talking about these mass uh, massive changes that we're having today, what if you were the only person that saw that this is not a crisis, but a possibility of choosing something different? What if you were the only sane person in a world of fearful people?
And what a leader that would be. You know,
And I,
yeah,
and
go for
what
it.
is a leader? What is a leader, Rebecca, for you?
To me, a leader is someone that knows what they know and is willing to follow it without requiring validation, without requiring someone else to say, yes, that's true, or yes, that's correct for me.
I love it, because usually we think that the leader needs followers. But
And
what if that?
qualification and an audience, and to be propped up and to be validated and to be shown off,
And
all of these
what if
things.
what if that reality of power over, of showing, of validating is not real? Is that if that is just an entertainment for not creating your own life, your own
Mhm,
reality?
for sure.
And what? So we're going to invite them. Is that right?
Yes. And also, I would love for you to talk more about, like, you just mentioned it in passing, and it's one of those things that is so relevant to this conversation of leaders, is entertainment.
Oh yeah. It's it's funny because right now I'm in the entertainment mecca of Mexico City, the national cine. I don't know how to say that in English. Like the Cinematheque,
Cinema.
like the national, the
cinema.
national, the national, the national cinema, where all the movies are guarded, and like all the arts movies are viewed. Sorry, and it's funny because we are so entertained by this reality, not only in the cinema but in the real life. Like in Mexico, we have all these real life telenovelas where everybody has a
They're fabulous.
taste for drama, and of course that includes me. But how much are you creating when you're entertained by your drama? A little, a lot, or nothing at all?
More drama.
More drama, exactly. And
the next
how much,
episode, the next season.
and the thing is, how much that drama compares, or how does that drama goes with the reality you really want? Like we usually think we want more money, we want more happiness. We never say we want more drama. But we are choosing more drama doing drama, which is very weird.
Or are we pretending that we're enjoying something different? Or do we not think that something else is possible? Or haven't let us consider that something else might be possible?
So is there something else possible?
I don't know, is there? That's a question you'll have to answer for yourself.
When you find out that you can create your reality, how many possibilities does that open? When you don't have to react to everything people say, how many things? Because what happens when you're in reaction or when you're entertained, basically you have no possibilities. You have only one choice, which is reaction.
Of course.
But what if you could choose something different?
And this kind of brings me to the topic of, we're at a time where we want people to be more responsible. But there's an idea that responsible means that you're taking care of or you're taking ownership for something. But I would like to propose that you start to look at responsible as the ability to respond quickly. And as a leader, you're presented with many, many choices. The choice to react, the choice to not react, the choice to do something completely different, to invite people to a possibility, to keep it for yourself, to make a choice that will have multiple different repercussions later. But the ability to respond quickly will allow you to continuously create a future, continuously create a path for yourself. And that doesn't have to necessarily sway or end up in this tennis match of this person said this and then the news said this and then now this is happening and then now I'm affected by this, and you get to stay your path and follow your knowing.
I love what you say. And something I heard just lately is, when you think someone can do something to you, you disempower yourself. So what if being responsible is also empowering yourself? Like being responsive with action instead of reaction, and choosing what you really want instead of just thinking that people or the virus or the airline can do something to you. Given this new set of environmental things, what can I choose now?
Yes. Yeah. And, it's not a time to be a princess, unfortunately. Crisis time is not necessarily a time to think that sulking is necessarily going to get you somewhere. Now, don't get me wrong. You can act and create wonderful circumstances for yourself, but it's not the time to go, poor me, I don't think that anything is going to change for me, or I don't see how I can do this. It's actually more of the time of to go, all right, is what I desire to create still relevant? And if so, how am I going to create it?
I love that question.
And then please act all you want. Tears work wonders. But that doesn't mean that you want to make your drama real. You need to keep it as one of the tools that you have up your sleeve to be able to help you create what you desire to create.
What if you didn't have to be the poor victim of the telenovela, but you could be the writer of it?
Exactly. I love that. That's
because
great.
the writer makes money and the victim doesn't.
That's true. And the writer gets to choose if you have a heroine or a hero, or you have a disaster and apocalypse. So
and the other thing that I really like, I would like to share with everyone who is watching is, what if we could have fun?
yes, for the love of God, yes.
Fun, like laughter is one of the major energies that saves, that heals. Like when you feel down, how is everything in your life? Usually it's not that great. When you start having fun, everything gets easier. So what if even in dire times you can have fun? What if you could laugh at everything, at all the insanity that is surrounding you? What power could you be? I love, you know this movie Monsters Inc?
No.
Monsters Inc is
Oh, Monsters Inc. Yes. Yes, I do.
where they find out that laughter is much more powerful than screaming to keep their engines going.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that idea.
Yeah.
What if you could use your laughter to keep your engines going, to create the world you are, to keep the jet you want to fly in?
Yeah, my mom was telling a story about how she just went out for coffee with her girlfriends the other day, and they were having so much fun that they realized that people were starting to eavesdrop on their conversation just to stop being so stressed. Like, I'm at a public cafe, and things could be contaminated, and like stressing out. And then seeing these friends actually having a joyous time, you could see them all start to tune into the conversation, tap into the different possibility that they were functioning from, and relax. And that's that thing of one individual can change the world. So what can you be and create in your world that would allow you to be the inspiration for a different possibility? What if you are the stranglehold on insanity that stops it from thriving?
And what if your laughter was your superpower?
You know, the worst it can do will make you happy. So,
The worst you can be, yeah, exactly. The worst that can happen is that you don't care, that you don't care anymore about the drama surrounding you.
Exactly. And so I know in the future we plan to take a conversation into more about more pragmatics, more different possibilities. It's never been a better time to have an online business. So, if you want to know some of the more pragmatics about having a global business that traverses cultures, it surpasses, global restrictions and has the ability to create worldwide. What we'd really like to do here is to invite you to the grand, big world that is truly possible for here.
And maybe you could choose then the jet setters lifestyle, even if you don't travel.
Exactly. What if, armchair travel is a great thing. I quite enjoy it, but I also like to get on a plane too. So it's about looking at what will work for you and finding new possibilities that will, travel the world.
So, what if today is the day of becoming a global citizen in all senses?
A global citizen of the world, of the universe.
Of the universe. I like it.
I think
Thank you
that's
so
something
much.
you said in the foundation. What if you were a citizen of the universe?
Yeah, I love it.
Me too.
Thank you so much for this conversation, Rebecca. It's always a great pleasure
Ditto,
creating
my
with
friend.
you.
And I look forward to seeing you hopefully in Budapest next week.
Yes. Speaking of global citizenship.
Exactly. And maybe we will see some of you that watch this video somewhere around the world in the future too.
Yes. Or on another Zoom.
Exactly. See you
Thank
next year.
you.
Thank you.